Hi guys. Wanted to show you something I got. We'll start out with this. What do you think that goes to? Hopefully you can see it. I'm still trying to learn this camera. Anyway, if it's a little blurry, this thing's got fixed focus, so it's real hard for me to hold it by hand and try to keep things away from you, or far enough away so you can read it. But it says Zenith Space Command 200. It's got tune, mute. Maybe you push it, makes noises. Well, what it is a remote for, and I'll back away, for this little guy here. And I'll see if I can get back far enough so you can see it. Good. 21-inch console TV from 1957, Zenith. And one thing I always liked about the old TVs, when they did have a remote, which this does, they had a place to store the remote. You don't see that on today's flat screen TVs. You just gotta keep the remote with you or find some place to put it. Now, I'm not going to move this thing out. It is quite heavy, and I got it back in there for right now. It does have the back on it. The back's in excellent condition. The TV's not in bad shape as far as the cabinet goes. There are some blemishes. If I come around this way, there is some loss in the finish on this side going up along that front edge. But there is some nice things about that too, is the fact that, and I don't know if I can show it and come in close enough and keep it from getting blurry, and if it's a little shaky, I'm sorry, but there's a line that runs across here that goes from this to this. So redoing this finish here would not be that difficult, because I could I've got a definite brake line that goes all the way around down the side on both sides, so you could just mask off right up to that, and then of course on the front you can mask off right up to the edge and just deal with just that. Now the top does have a couple little blemishes in it. This is on the surface. There's some sort of dirt or something that's on there, but other than a few minor, very minor scratches that may just buff out, the top's not too bad. This is the worst spot, which you may not be able to see right here. On this side, which probably can't see too good, the main side has got something like an overspray of paint, light paint or something on there. It's rough. Knobs are all there, everything. The grill cloth is in excellent condition. A few little blemishes on the front, but the glass is in good shape. And that front face is all metal. And other than showing a little signs of wear and usage, it's in pretty decent shape. You got on the left there, you've got the channel selector, and then we have vertical hold, horizontal hold. This is the receiver here. It's just basically a microphone because it uses sound to operate the remote. Then you got contrast, brightness, and volume, on and off switch. The interesting thing is the fine tuning is actually on the back. There's a knob on the back, and when I get to this TV you'll see that. This will be probably later summer or spring when I actually do anything with this. One of the big things about this set is she was well used. It has a brightener on it, and it's going to need the brightener as this picture tube is tired. It's a 21, I believe 21 LP4 or something towards F, ALP4. Yeah, 21 ALP4 B. They came in 3 different flavors: the 21 ALP4, then the 21 ALP4A or B. Now, I don't know what the difference between A and B is, but the A and B just means that it's got a aluminized screen on it, although it still uses an ion trap. But the tube is tired. With elevated voltage, it gets about halfway up the back. The bad side on the tube tester. If I take it to where that brightener is taking it, it gets it up close to the green. So it will produce an image. It's just not going to be the best image in the world. But I am not too concerned. I already put out a search on eBay looking for these. The tube was used in several sets during this time period. So, and there's a few different ones that are interchangeable with it. So anyway, the leg's on good shape. It's got 4 little short legs, and they're really not bad. You know, they've got a little bit of wear on the finish, but there's not like any large chunks taken out of them or anything, and all the brass is still on them. So anyway, I wanted to show this to you. I got it off Craigslist, got it from the original owner who bought it brand new. So I'm the second owner of it, and it wasn't bad. I paid $50 for it, so I didn't think that was too bad for 1957 tube television. So anyway, this will be an upcoming project, and we'll take our time with it. Probably several videos on it and stuff. So look forward to this coming up. Now, on the rest of this video, there's something else I want to talk about. I've been meaning to talk about, so we got to head back to the bench, and I'll show you what it is. It deals with SAM schematics, and I want to talk a little bit about them. So we'll be at that in a moment. Okay, here you have a typical SAM's folder for, this is not exactly that model Zenith out there, but similar one. This is 1 year older. But anyway, it's for Zenith TV, and it'll do for what I want to talk about. So basically, when you get one, this is what you see. The front face will give you generally a picture of at least one of the models. Now sometimes these cover several models, and they've got them right here. So sometimes maybe your the SAMs for your TV or radio, you may have like a console TV or maybe a console radio, and yet the picture may show it like a tabletop or portable. It's just because the particular chassis was used in several different models, and some of those models were like in tabletops, some of them were in consoles. It's just whatever Sam's got their hands on for a picture. So don't let the picture fool you on that. You'll have disassembly instructions. If there is some service that can be done in the field, in other words, with the unit at the home, if it can be, certain stuff that can be serviced there without taking it back to the shop, they list that here. And then, of course, they've got some of their legal stuff here, and date, set, and folder number. And when you first open it up, there's going to be, especially on TVs, there's going to be several things, several pages. So you're going to see a lot of different bits of information in here. They'll have alignment instructions and telling you how to line it. Some information here, a tube failure chart, tube placement chart, resistance readings, another tube placement chart here, One of the nice things about SAMs is they give a parts locator out of a real picture. This one's for the resistors. On the other side is the capacitors. So if you're looking, you find either you're looking underneath the chassis and you see this particular resistor or capacitor. Maybe it's burnt, maybe it's a resistor that's burnt. You can locate it on your resistor chart locator, and which one it is. Follow, find it, follow it back out, and you'll see like R67, and you can look it up. Now the other thing is, and the primary thing I want to talk about is, we also have, of course, they've got a little page here, picture, that shows all the adjustable coils and stuff in here, plus the test points where you can hook your equipment to, doing the alignment. So you know where all that stuff is when you're doing the alignment. The main thing is this sheet, the parts locator, or the parts list, I mean. So anyway, you open up the schematic, and I don't know if you're going to see this. Like I say, I'm not good at this camera yet. I don't know if I can come down here and it'll be not blurry. But this resistor here, R74, has got a little circle and a line through it. So does R73 also. You'll see these on SAMs, and it'll also be by near the capacitors sometimes. So now, what does that mean? If you got a component, say like R74, and it's right beside it is a circle with a line through it. So what does that actually mean? Well, what that means is you need to go to the parts listing. So that's R74, and we go to the parts listing, and we look up R74, and it comes right here. It says it's 27K, which is what's shown on the schematic. It will come over, and it's a 1/2 watt because there's nothing else wrote in here. So if it was like a 2 watt, it'd have a 2. If it was 1 watt, it'd have 1. If you don't have anything, it's a 1/2 watt. It has the Zenith part number. It has IRC part number, and it comes over underneath a section called Notes, and it says Note 3. So where do we find the notes? Well, the notes is at the bottom. Note 3 says use a 22K resistor in this application, and then they give a Zenith part number. That's the only reason for that little circle, the line through it, is to take you back to the schematic to let you know that there were some versions that use a different value of component in there. So, and in some cases, it may even say that they didn't, in some versions, they omitted that component. So, all that's stating is that there are some differences between different, not models, but different versions of the same chassis. So, there happens to be 3 notes on here, so 3 different resistors. There were different versions that had 3 different values. That's one thing I want to show. So you'll find this on resistors and the capacitors, and even sometimes on the coils, transformers, and stuff in here in the set. So if you see a little circle near your component with a line flat through it, then that's what it means. That you need to go back and look at the schematic, look up that part, or go back and look at the parts list and look up that part, look at the notes, and you'll know what it meant. That way it reduces confusion, because what if you got one of the chassis that had the version that had the 22K instead of the 27, your schematic's showing a 27K, you only got a 22K in there. What's wrong? Is the schematic wrong? Did someone mess with this set and put a wrong value in? Well, you see that little circle line, you go back here, you see that it has a note, you read the note, and then you realize, no, that's factory. It's one of them versions that used that value. Now, another thing is, now this SAMS is actually pretty decent for this set. It gives DC resistances for most of the transformers and coils in here. The flyback gives all the DC resistance here. The power transformer, it gives the main DC resistances here. They don't for the filament windings because they're like 1, 2, 3 ohms or something of that nature. Generally, if they're producing voltage, they're good. But it does for the primary and the secondary. Audio output transformer it gives for the primary, which is really all that's necessary. But the IFs, they don't through here. We don't have no DC resistance. Now, they're going to be fairly low, but still, if you really wanted to know, you can find it. This is the coil section. It's got the RF and IFs. And along this line right underneath here, it has DC resistance, primary and secondary. So it tells you what those resistances are. Excuse me. So that you can make measurements, if you wanted to see if those are correct, if the coils are not shorted. I mean, they could be shorted and still, they could still give a reading and not be open, but they could still be shorted. Now, IFs, most of them are like 0.1 ohms, so it's going to be real difficult to know. But there are some SAMs that don't have even resistance readings for like the flyback or the power transformer or anything. When they don't, they will be on the parts list. So with SAMs, if you'd see no resistance readings at all on any of the transformers or any of the coils or anything, then refer back to the parts list, and it'll have something like this. It'll have a line there, usually right next thing that they're going to give you will be, say DC resistance, and will give you that resistance reading. So those were the few things I wanted to point out, and I'm sorry for the video not maybe being the best quality or anything. But anyway, the thing is I just wanted you, because I've seen some confusions about the circle with the line through it, what it meant, and I've also seen some confusions about people looking at SAM schematics and go, oh geez, you don't have no DC resistances. I guess I'll just have to check and go by experience. No, they're there. You just got to remember to look back. If they're not on the schematic, look in the parts list, and they'll be there. So, I think that's about all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do like it, give it a thumbs up. And if you like these types of videos and on this kind of stuff, on vintage stuff, then if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, and you'll know when the next videos come out. You'll get an email on those. So anyway, thanks again. I want to wish everybody a belated Happy New Year. Hope this is a good year for you and everything, and I'll see you guys on the next video.